accidentally just pulled my rear brake, which is non-functional, so we'll see if that impacts my speed any. Today's goal is not to go fast. It's just to make it to Zwolle. It should be an easy day, 60-ish miles. My original plan was to put all my camera gear inside of my main backpack on my back, but given that I managed to fill up my main backpack as well, not as easy a task as I was hoping. But once I find my soigneurs, aka my parents in Zwolle, that should all be taken care of, and we'll just be going so fast, so aero from there. That being said, with the new information about putting bottles in your shirt being a bit more aero, maybe this is aero. My legs are currently splitting side to side like I'm riding one of those e-bikes that doesn't have an adjustment for the seat height. This front backpack is just a little bit too low. All right, so I rearranged my backpack, so it's now, both of them are on my back. New challenge, I need a pee. This can be a little bit difficult in the Netherlands because there's a shortage of trees. A lot of flat space, minimal tree coverage. So it can make urinating in public while you're cycling a little bit difficult. Coming up to the bird watchers, we'll give them a little whistle. Averaging 16 to 17 miles per hour right now, which is exactly as expected. My girlfriend asked me to take a picture of every single windmill I came across. I don't think that's going to be possible, there's simply too many. In the Netherlands, there's no minimum distance a car needs to pass a bicycle. It's just based off of what seems safe. So often drivers won't even slow down. They're just so used to passing in tight environments. They don't consider the massive difference between their vehicle and your little aluminum frame, which makes it really nice that we have these separated bike paths, even if they are, within spitting distance of the main road. Plant some trees, guys. See, look at this car, very courteous, knows I'm coming, stops, doesn't even start the turn. So yeah, for every Dutch car that passes very, very closely, there's one that's very courteous. Just like any culture, there's people that go the whole gamut of hospitality. Was that a weasel? I think it was a weasel or a marmot or something. That's my first one I've seen. Trip's already good one. And then I guess we can finish out the discussion of automobiles with the mopeds that go in bike paths. Look how scenic this is. Nice and flat, mowed on both sides. You have some black mustard, those are the yellow flowers poking up. Don't have a problem with those here because they're native, whereas in California, just grinds my gears a bit. The question today is, why am I doing this ride? And the answer is, I've kind of always done events like this, things like this, where I just try to push the boundaries of what's possible for me and my equipment, I guess. And I usually rely more on myself than the equipment. So you can see, that's why I have 2 backpacks and no panniers. Tractor. I like to push what's possible. I like to poke the world and see how long it takes for it to poke back. Push just up until it breaks, and unfortunately when it does break, usually I break along with it. Hopefully that won't happen, because I fortunately crashed last week. I say fortunately because I seem to crash every 2 to 3 years, and I'm thinking it's cyclical. Like, I crash, I realize, I should be a little bit more careful. That being said, I realized my rear brake wasn't working as I was leaving the house. So it is now as loose as it possibly can be. Lunch is some split pea stew, Ethiopian style, that I made. It's not typically what you would bring on a cycling adventure, a bit too high in protein and probably a little bit hard to digest, but yeah, I'll eat what I can manage. I'm not in any rush to get to Zwolle. The rest of the way to Zwolle looks like it's on this departmental route. We have the road, the canal, the bike path. Not the most exciting route, but since I don't have to look at my Wahoo, I can just put the backpack on my aero bars. So that ends up working out quite well. And so now, just gonna listen to the Wheel of Time audiobook and slowly roll my way into Zwolle. Break number 2. I'm 10 miles out of Zwolle now, and next to like a little, I want to say seaside town. Sea is maybe not the right term. I'm actually looking forward to cycling in the city a little bit because I'm hoping that the pollen count in the air will be a little bit lower, and I'll let my sinuses and my eyes have a break. I successfully made it to Zwolle. The last part was just very scenic. Once I got off that national highway, though it was only a 2-lane highway, but yeah, I guess you don't need that much when there's not that much of a population. Now here in the city, it's super dense, as you expect from most Dutch cities. And the only times I've been through Zwolle before are just to use the train station, which just looks like most Dutch train stations, just very efficient, very clean. But here, amidst the canals, just sitting right by a canal for the moment while I wait for my parents to arrive to the city. It's just super quiet. You have all the classic Dutch canal side buildings, what were warehouses and are now houses, the cobble streets. And then tomorrow I can look forward to not having to have the bags on my back. Still trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to take. Definitely need some backup batteries. I have 5 different charging cables for each of the different devices. Ça a l'air bon, maman. I just had a nice dinner with my parents at a French-Dutch restaurant pretending to be French. Tomorrow I'm looking forward to not having backpacks on my back. Question of whether or not I should have had panniers. I mean, I got through the day and I didn't get injured, which I think is the big thing. Panniers would have just kind of cost me money, and I don't know how often I'd use panniers again. So this worked out for me for today. And yeah, I'm not going to tell you necessarily which way to go one way or another. Just know that it is possible, and aero bars definitely help getting everything situated. Tomorrow is Zwolle to Tiel. I think it's 70, mid 70s in terms of miles. Should be a little bit more challenging than today, but at the same time a little bit easier since I won't have the bags. I'll just have my little fanny pack attached to the aero bars again. And I have my big bundle of bananas ready for tomorrow's breakfast.